David Jaffe is definitely something. For those of you who aren't familiar, this is the guy that, outside of being a very strange character online, was best known for his creation of Twisted Metal and I guess part of the God of War franchise. Has come across to me as, I don't know, the grandpa that took way too much acid and now we're seeing the effects of it. He's also the guy that said,
I off a hobo. You goddamn right I would. Every goddamn day of the week.
and if you think that was a joke or a one-off, we got...
Listen, if it was consensual and you didn't hate the Jews out of you, I would.
David Jaffe, everyone. And he caused quite the stir on social media today. And shout out to Hypnotic for the heads up on this, because I didn't even know about this. David Jaffe replied to Monster, who said, "Dad, you bought me my first Xbox. If it wasn't for you, I would have never have fallen in love with the game." And he put the controllers down next to the flowers as his dad's grave. And David Jaffe, this is an Xbox. I'm sorry. I mean, like I said, I am all for dark humor. That was one of those like, whoa, buddy. What is going
on? Buddy. Wild stuff.
So this happened, and I was like, wait a second. I mean, I'm all for dark humor, but isn't this the guy that has a trans kid that like loses his shit when anyone makes any kind of trans joke? Apparently, trans jokes are completely out of the realm of possibility. They're out of line. You cannot do them. I said, this man draws the line at trans jokes. Make it make sense. How is this okay, David? How is this okay? But joking about trans is just completely, you don't ever want to talk about me or see me or hear my voice, because I dare say that you probably should have been a better father because your son was trans and you are on board with that. And that's not something that I agree with, but apparently it's okay for this. Anyways, he continues with man, the people were eating him alive in the comments, by the way. This Sherma, the saturated, bruh, there's a time for console wearing, but for the love of Christ, read the room. And he says, it sucks that the default assumption is that I am console wearing. I am 54 years old. The fuck do I care about console wars? Are you serious? Also, both my parents are dead, and I was making a dumb but fun joke because A, I thought it was funny, and B, I think laughing when faced with sadness is pretty good medicine. Again, David Jaffe, how do you feel about trans jokes? If you're faced with sadness of what I would amount to losing your child to an ideology and never having them back in your life because of that, and saying that that's mean, you can't say that about people. I thought you'd deal with sadness with laughing, and it's a pretty good joke. It's the best medicine. These are your words, bro. If none of that was a thing, I'd be like, man, that was a dark joke. Funny, but dark humor. I'm here for it. The problem is the person that said it contradicts who they are, what they stand for. My parents are dead too. Yeah, man, keep screaming this. It totally isn't weird and makes the piece of shit thing you did okay. It's crazy. You don't just apologize. He's getting eaten alive by the lefty lunatics. Oh, great. It's great. I was making a dumb but fun joke because...
Fucking place. Trash. Shut the fuck up. No one cares. No.
Drag says, David is the type of guy that shows up at someone's funeral and makes it all about himself. Gray Hoodie, yeah, instead of, I'm sorry, maybe this is a bad taste, you've decided to go with I'm the real victim here. See, here's the thing. If David Jaffe was not David Jaffe, we'll say if it was me and I made this joke and all these lefty lunatics came at me and were like, oh, that's so mean. You're a horrible person. And I quote tweeted them and it was like, it's dark humor. Deal with it. What are they going to come back with? But with David, you can't do that because it's like double standard city, bro. It's like rules for thee, not for me. It's so crazy. There's a fucking article written about this. Insider Gaming. This is an Xbox God of War creators graveyard joke. Draws criticism. A user on social media uploaded an image of their father's grave, recalling memories of being bought their first Xbox and falling in love with gaming. By way of tribute to that, the user had placed 2 Xbox controllers on the grave, saying that their late father could play along from up there, which honestly, really touching. That's amazing. That's cool. That's really cool. David Jaffe, the creator of God of War and Twisted Metal, quoted the post and wrote, this is an Xbox. It's funny. Like, it's fucking awful, but it's funny. It's hard not to laugh at it. Echoing Microsoft's recent market campaign and prompting many to criticize the developer for an ill-timed and inappropriate comment. Sergeant Sapien says, I mean, it is funny. Credit where it's due. Was David Jaffe mocking the deceased? The recent post on social media by David Jaffe has not been met with a positive sentiment. This is an Xbox. Jaffe was most recently in the news for uploading a YouTube video explaining that Connie Booth, a 34-year-old veteran of Sony, was fired out of the blue. Under the graveyard post on social media, Jaffe attempted to defend his position after gamers came for him, but his response just stoked the flames even further. Oh, shut up, you fucking babies. My parents are dead as well. It sucks. And even when they died, my dad died on Halloween. And you can bet we laughed about it. We tried to accept and grieve and mourn. And at the same time, we didn't become a bunch of overly serious assholes. Again, this is David Jaffe with the Protect Trans Kids bumper sticker in his background while he streams. And his son being trans or daughter, I don't fucking even know at this point because these people are lunatics. The comments under the post cast aspirations. And while some understood that Jaffe might have meant something different, no, he didn't. It was a dark humor joke. Most bagged on his timing and the nature of his comment. One user wrote, how desperate for attention are you? While another said, just because you made fun of your dad dying does not give you the right to do it to other people, you stinky loser. Do you think David Jaffe was in the wrong for what he said? Let me know on the Inside Gaming Discord server. So it's kind of funny to me how the community is eating him alive for his own words. This is his own community. These are people that follow him and stand by him. It's still up on his X account right now, by the way. And this is his, oh, shut up, you babies post. This ought to go well. So it sucked when they died. Did this guy's dad just pass away? Do you know? Do you care? So it's a timing thing? What are the rules? Can you define them? Stop it. Get some help. I mean, to be honest, if I was this guy posting this about my dad and David Jaffe posted this, I'd be like, bro, you're a piece of shit. All right. Like it is a piece of shit thing to try to make light of this and make a joke out of it. It really is. Like there is a time and a place for it. But again, this is like if it's coming from someone who does not have contradictions or a paradox with their belief system, then you could just chalk it up to, yeah, he's an asshole and that's dark humor. But this is a guy that tries to portray the image of he's not an asshole. He's compassionate to the women in the games industry and the trans and kids and transing kids. Like it doesn't line up with who he is. So that's why I tend to go with what people are saying and being like, yeah, it is a piece of shit thing for someone like you to say it. But if I make a joke about that, I can't say it anywhere because everyone's super sensitive to it. you lose your mind. Very true, by the way. Very true. Nah, bro, you ain't getting out of this one. I have a dark humor about death. And when my dad died, my way of coping was with jokes. However, you have to consider some people don't handle grief this way. Again, guys, it's social media. There's going to be dicks out there. If you're going to be posting images of death and loved ones and stuff like that, I can pretty much guarantee you there's going to be some shithead that does something awful and says something stupid, trying to be funny with it. Sometimes it is funny. Sometimes it's just awful. It's a very dangerous line to be walking, though, on social media to go down that road with them. So I typically just steer clear of it because it's like, man, there's a time and a place for it, and I'm not down for that. But like, I think most people would agree. We all have our friends, the locker room chat, the talk behind the scenes. I have my college friends. I have a text thread with them. We say some pretty crazy shit to each other, but it's between us. There's a time, yes, and there's a place somewhere else. Like that's where you can do these things. If you're going to be doing it publicly, you're going to be dealing with the backlash. And again, he's surrounded himself with lunatic lefties. This is not the kind of thing that you can do and get away with. They are going to nail you to the cross, bro. They're going to make an example of you. This is going to be interesting with the fallout from this, because they're going to point to this as, that's the guy that made that dark humor joke. He's horrible. And he's going to be hearing about this in his chat for probably the next 5 months or longer. But that's Jaffe. I'm not shocked at all. Netflix Foreign says, Smash, there's a saying called transing the gay away, implying some of those kids would be future gay men, but the parents can't handle that. So they try to gaslight them into thinking they're trans. Yikes. I've never heard of that, but that's one of those like world changing, whoa. Because once you say that, that's definitely a thing. They do that in the Middle East. Not surprised. Not surprised. Anyways, guys, that was everything